I think that we're realizing now that there's a lot of creators that have enormous audiences that do not convert, that will not sell product, that will not be beneficial to your business. I barely got to sleep last night because in the middle of the night, I kept having ideas for my business and I keep a notepad next to my bed. So I was waking up and writing random things on these papers. Who knows if they make sense? I still haven't looked at them, but we're gonna check it out today and see if there's anything that actually comes from this. So let's see what my calendar looks like today. Right now I have a call trying to find a new therapist, which is a challenge in itself and should not be a challenge. But I'm looking for a new one just because I look at therapists kind of like personal trainers. Sometimes somebody has a style that you just outgrow and you want to find a different style. So nothing against my prior therapist, loved her, will probably work with her again in the future, but I'm looking for a different one that applies a different style of technique. Then I have a podcast. Then I have a strategy meeting to go over content for videos that I'm filming and thinking about new ideas. Then I will be going to WeWork where I will brainstorm for a little bit on my own about the next kind of iteration of our business, things that I've been talking about in these videos. Then I have a couple of calls with some entrepreneurs and a company that I want us to work with. Those I cannot show you. And then after that, I have lunch and then I will be filming my own content and editing my own content and posting things from about 2 o'clock till about 4 o'clock before coming home and having date night with Sam. That is my day. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, the creator economy in the startup space got really popular kind of around the pandemic, and there were a lot of startups that got a lot of money, but it turns out that most of the gains or most of the people that did really well were either the platforms, who are already incumbents, or the creators themselves.
It's obviously been like a hot topic, creators. So when that happens, people try to pour money and resources in when they think that there's an idea that could be useful. I think it was just so new. Even creators, I don't think they knew exactly what they needed or what they would be practical. And so I think there's like a lot of these tech platforms and shit that come out that are like, well, it'll cut down your editing time, or it'll cut down, like, you'll be able to post this. And I think, like, at the end of the day, after using it, it sounds cool, so you use it for a bit, but then you end up getting into a place where you're like, I don't really need this. It's like a nice thing to have, but it's not really like changing my day and changing my life or trajectory as a creator. So it goes from being like, let's try everything because it's like just new and cool and hot, to like tapering back to like what is needed and what's practical and what's useful. I think that we're realizing now that there's a lot of creators that have enormous audiences that do not convert, that will not sell product, that will not be beneficial to your business. And so I think there's a tipping point for the power that creators have as well, to where it will taper off and be more practical, where it's the real legit creators will have real impact, and the vast majority of the other ones, it will have a harder time getting brand deals and building. And for me, I think that the economy, and I think that particularly I think the creator economy will shift into the vast majority of creators that are kind of middle of the pack will integrate with the business world and will start to become employees or independent contractors of one or few businesses, and will start to be the internal content arm of the companies, because they'll realize, wait a minute, this like individual business entrepreneur as a creator thing is hard. It's not easy. But companies need content. They don't know how to do it and they have no interest in going and learning it. So I want to go and partner with these companies that I love, and I want to help them make content, teach them how to, be more effective as creators. And this will be the way that I can make money through content. And that's how I see it actually really getting integrated into the economy, which is why I'm placing so many bets on what we're doing. This is a call with somebody who's helping us come up with ideas. When you're consistently creating, you get to a point where you can't be the only person that comes up with the content. So I like to bounce ideas off of friends. I like to have people hit me up. Sometimes I'll go to consultants, other creators, and just ask them what their input is, see if there's anything that they find interesting, different angles, different things to look at that refreshes me, gives me more ideas, and Diego on my team more ideas for us to then go and create. I love the ideas that you gave. Here's the way that I'm looking at it. I either want the ideas to be fully broken down into a short form script, even though you don't know how the storyline realistically is because you're not me. It either needs to be broken down into a full script, or just give us titles that are thought starters for us to build out and us to go deeper in, and you can give a lot more of just the thought starters. I'm also looking into different ways of telling stories. The way that we tell it right now is very challenge and drama oriented, which can be like good, it can be bad. It's not. It just is. But that's the way that we are telling our stories right now. Very hero's journey. I also want to look into ways to tell stories that are purely lighthearted and uplifting, fun, and not as dense, to kind of give us a separate variation between the videos that we're putting out right now. Are we try to intend for them to be very heavy emotion evoking. I want delineation between that style and another style where it's just happy. Let's film some voiceovers. I just genuinely love meeting new people. I just genuinely love meeting new people. Very loud. I just genuinely love meeting new people. When I first moved to Los Angeles, a lot of my friends had gone to college before, and on Saturdays they would go and watch college football. Let's hear this. I just genuinely love meeting new people, and that turned into a big community hangout. So what's going on right now is I am using my headphones to record on my voice notes on my computer, and I will do the voiceover, and sometimes I'll even film myself. Like in this, I'm filming myself at the same time just in case we do need any visual. But usually what ends up happening is I will record a voiceover in my voice notes, then I will upload that, and me and Diego will work on what visuals need to be over top of that voiceover, rather than me trying to nail it talking into the camera every time, because it's easier to kind of like read a little script or a little outline and just say it and then go and find the visuals after. I just genuinely love meeting new people, and that turned into a big community hangout. When I first moved to Los Angeles, a lot of my friends had gone to college before, and on Saturdays they would go and watch college football. I ended up being like, I'm gonna start taking meetings on Saturdays. I would meet somebody on Abbot Kinney, we would walk back and forth on Abbot Kinney, they would leave, I would stay there, another person would come, we would walk back and forth. One of my buddies that I had met started a coffee shop that was at the end of Abbot Kinney, so I started doing the walk to the coffee shop, meeting with the person there, and then walking back. And then at some point we just cut out the walk entirely, and it was just like, let's just meet there and just hang there outside. So then we started having more people come and meet us there, and it started as like 1 or 2 of us just hanging, having coffee, to like 5, 7, 10. It got too big, and we realized we actually needed to find a new place where it could sustain that amount of people and not disrupt the flow of their traffic in their coffee shop. So now, yeah, we're actually looking for a new place. We're trying to find a place that a lot of people can meet up at consistently, and if you know of any places in the west side of Los Angeles area, please let me know. Currently editing in my car. I got service here, and I'm downloading the clips from the cloud. Things that were on my calendar, and I just glanced over them to see if there was anything that I missed, or just things that I should know about going into Monday morning. And the last thing that I do on my Sundays, I try to end my Sunday nights with a little bit of recovery and a great sleep. That could be jumping in the sauna. That could be jumping in the cold plunge. That could be taking a cold shower. It could be doing some breath. All right, so this is exporting now. I use CapCut to edit. And it just took me, I was just in here for like an hour and a half doing this. Even when I want to crank out and edit quick, right now, I just feel like in the social landscape, there's more of a need for a visual representation of what you're talking about than just being able to ramble. And so all the content, other than on TikTok, occasionally, all of the content that I am posting has some sort of visual aspect to it, because it's what is required right now to differentiate yourself. Granted, there are anomalies. Some people can do this on TikTok and just ramble, and it works for them. Other people can do like get ready with me's or outfit of the days, or just vlog throughout their day and talking to the camera, and it works for them, and they don't necessarily need to add visuals over top. But I think for me, with the style that we're putting out, it has really worked nicely when we are putting visuals over top of the words that I am saying, and even putting captions over top of them. So that adds probably triple, maybe quadruple the amount of work per edit. So Diego and I go back and forth on these edits all day using the cloud. So on CapCut, you can upload your video to the cloud. So he's logged in to my CapCut account on his phone, and he'll make a beginning portion of the edit. He'll upload it to the cloud. I'll download it. I'll see what he did. I'll add my edits. I'll upload it to the cloud. If he needs to do anything else, he can tweak it. If not, I'll just save it and then I'll post it. So we go back and forth on those, and sometimes it just takes longer than others. The minimum that I'm spending on an edit right now is probably 2 hours, 90 minutes. And I would say the same, I would say even more for him, probably 4 hours on an edit. So there's a lot of work that's going into these right now. I don't see it happening forever. Like the YouTube stuff that I'm filming with you guys right now is just me rambling. It's just me talking. When I see the need for there to be more of a variation in the content, I want to attack that. So right now that's where we're at, and we just have to accept it that right now it's just taking a little bit more work.
Your personal content and then content for the agency. Like where does your focus lie, and how do you manage to split that?
That's the hardest thing for me, because I really care about my personal brand and growing that, and that's my long-term play rather than the agency. But the agency will be something that will fuel a lot of what I'm trying to do with my own personal. For example, all of the guys that are on my entire team, which is 5 people, is all paid for through the agency, not through me doing brand deals. And so I think that a lot of people that are building platforms need to learn how to actually offer services that can really build incoming consistent revenue, so that can funnel to their personal brand. Because like I was saying before, brand deals are not enough for you to be consistently building business with. Even somebody like Mr. Beast and the biggest of the big aren't relying just on brand deals to fuel everything. They have real revenue generators outside of that. So for me with my content, now I'm lucky that I'm at a place where I don't have to do all of the content for the agency. But before it was literally like, I had to suck it up and just be like, I'm gonna grind and do as much as I can. And the content would be, and I'm very clear on my scheduling. So I try to do a really good job with my calendar and with Notion, which is what we use for everything on the back end, and just try and do my best. We go through days right now where Diego and I can't post because we can't get around to it because I'm running business, and I punch the wall and I'm like, fuck, I want to get this out there, but I can't. So yeah, do the best you can.